the news I've been dreading. This is a dagger to me and Ollie Outter's heart. Conte is now the new Spurs manager. Holy hell. On a contract for now 2 years to June 2023. They courted him last summer. They couldn't get him, but eventually they were rewarded, and now they got their main man after sacking their fifth in command, Nuno, earlier on. Spurs' Man United was christened as El Sacco. Well, our loss, which wasn't literally, is Spurs' gain. And that is going to be a launch pad to greater things for Spurs. They have got a Sergeant Major as their manager. And you know what we've got, ladies and gentlemen? We've got the Norwegian John Major. That's what we've got. And I tell you why I say that. Because he's dull, boring and uninspiring. There was something in the early 90s, right, called back to basics. And that's what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has done. He's brought United back to basics. We've gone for buying signature players. That didn't work because it hasn't resulted in a league title in a line on 8 years. So they've gone back to the Sykes-Ferguson era, bringing youth through. How many youth players Ollie brought through again? He's loaned more out the door than he has implemented them on the pitch. You know, he doesn't even know what youth is. It's absolutely ridiculous. And narrow-minded. And that's what Ollie is. And not the spitting image, the revamp version, but in the early 90s, an old generation know what I'm talking about if they're watching these videos, that is. The sketch, the spitting image. John Major eating peas off a plate and the colour is grey. Because he's boring. And that's all. He took over from Margaret Thatcher because the Labour Party candidate, Neil Kinnock, wasn't good enough. So the Tories stayed in power and John Major was the head of that. And that's what we've got at Man United. The Norwegian John fucking Major. Gets nothing done at all. And Spurs have finished above us now, by the way. They might win a trophy because they're in the quarter-finals of the League Cup. So they could win their first trophy since 2008. I did, joke, or did I, that Spurs should have got Juan de Ramos, not the Spanish Ramos, to manage Spurs for that one game in the League Cup final. Because he's the last manager who's done that. Pochettino couldn't do that. He got to a Champions League final and he bottled it. One of the reasons why I don't want him at Man United, because he let Liverpool get their first trophy under Brendan Klopp, as he was christened then. So well done, Spurs. I think they've succeeded expectations. And I'm so envious that they've got their man. Daniel Levy gets a lot of stick, but if this works, then they're back in the race. Because Conte's got everything. We've got a spineless weasel as our manager. And one of the reasons he's still in the job is because of these top reds. You could tell Nuno was all in, couldn't you? He did that by purpose. Bringing off Lucas Moura and bringing on a player that was signed by Mourinho. You know what I mean? He takes Moura off and he brings Mourinho's player on. 4 million. It's ridiculous. So he bought from what? Was it Ajax he bought? £27 million? Or something like that. So Nuno, you kept Ollie in the job for the rest of the season. What a dickhead. He knew exactly what he was doing there, Nuno. But well done Spurs for getting Conte. But these top reds sitting in Ollie's at the wheel. Have they got a memory relapse? May I just remind you, we didn't just lose 1-0 or 2-1 to Liverpool, the arch enemy, at Old Trafford. We lost 5-0. It was a complete and utter embarrassment, shambles, and a humiliation and a capitulation. And two of the worst defeats post Sykes-Ferguson have come under your boy, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's watch. And it's all on him. Didn't happen under Moise, under Van Gaal, under Mourinho. Only under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You should be embarrassed if you sang Ollie's at the wheel at White Hart Lane last Saturday. Because you don't know the history and the heritage of this football club. Look yourself in the mirror and you should be embarrassed as you're pointing fingers in your direction. Because the problem's going to be staring right back at you. Ollie does not deserve your support. He doesn't deserve your gratitude. Ollie is in it for himself. I've said this before. He and Mourinho have a lot more in common than they actually think. Look at the end of the game against Spurs. Mourinho used to do that. When he was at Chelsea in his first spell. Go to the crowd. And he was hugging McTominay, not Mourinho. Ollie. And he was just challenging his in Mourinho. But you'll never be Mourinho. Because you are not a winner. He's a serial loser. That's what Ollie is. He's not won a trophy since 2013. Molde fans wanted him out the door. May I remind you. You know, he won a Norwegian Cup. He got relegated by Cardiff. You know what I mean? And you know what? It's so easy for certain people to go Ollie out when we lose 5-0 against Liverpool. People should have been Ollie out when Liverpool did what they did after 30 years. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And so, oh, come under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's watch. And Conte's going to do wonders for Spurs. They're going places. We're not. We're downtrodden. We need a major revamp at Man United Football Club. Because we have fallen. We've shattered into a million pieces. We're like that sketch in Only Fools and Horses where the Ron, lampshade falls down. That's what we are. And Spurs are still in the ceiling, riding high. As Lionel Richie once said, dancing on the ceiling. That's what fucking Spurs fans are doing, dancing on the ceiling. And we're not. Because we have no ambition at Man United Football Club. Because top Reds do not want to get rid of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Because they're Glazer puppets. If you're Ollie in, you're Glazers in. You can't do that. Be Ollie in and Glazers in. Ollie in and Glazers out at the same time. It doesn't work. Because the same people, not to rent a con, but the same values they hold, the wrong values, So I would have taken Conte, I would have. So what's the point of Man United now? Because we're not going to win anything. So well done Spurs, but for us United fans, we're in the mud sticks whatever the outcome. And we're an embarrassment. We're the laughing stock. Losing 5-0. Nobody probably was alive last time we lost 5-0 to anyone else, let alone Liverpool. That result hurt and you're still backing Ollie. You need to get to grip with reality. We're on a slippery slope with the scrap heap. And we're going nowhere. And that's all I've got to say.